Hey guys, welcome to Ditch and Switch in Your Laundry. I'm super excited about this one because I think that if you can reduce the toxic load of what you're putting in your washing machine in particular, it can have a huge effect on your health because we have to wear clothes and we have to sleep in a bed. So they're two massive factors of absorbing whatever we're adding to our washing machine that goes on and in our bodies. So I'm going to explore that a little bit further. I have selected some common products that we may be using and highlighted just some of the ingredients in there using the Chemical Maze app, like I did for the kitchen series. So I'll just share my screen and we'll get into it. So why is it important to look at what you're putting into your washing machine and in your dryer and in the air in your bedroom when you're doing your linen and anything like that? Because your skin is your biggest organ, and any residue that's left over on your clothes, undies, bed linen, cloth nappies, tea towels, anything like that, unfortunately absorbs into your body because your skin's touching it all the time. Like all day long you're wearing your clothes, all night long you're in your bed. So this can have huge effects on things like your hormones, and we all know that how much our hormones control our bodies, especially being females, the majority of us. So that's really important. And not to mention children and especially babies. Babies are more susceptible to absorbing toxins because they have more surface area of skin than we do, and their bodies haven't developed enough yet to be able to detox toxins out of their body like an adult does. So yeah, they're even more important in the whole scheme of things. So if you don't believe that things don't absorb into your body, I've pulled up this picture of someone wearing a nicotine patch and wanted to highlight and just think about how a nicotine patch works, and that when it's applied to the skin, chemicals absorb into the bloodstream. So just like our clothes do. I pulled up a little diagram of our skin and the three routes that chemicals will absorb through. Number one is a sweat pore. So you'll see here that there's a pretty direct route quite deep down into our body. So you can imagine how quickly that goes in. The next one's the skin. So it has to go through all the layers of the skin. But once again, it only takes 26 seconds for chemicals to absorb into your body, remember? And then the third one is it goes down beside the hair shaft, which is a direct line in deep into your skin. So even though when we are going to look into the Chemical Maze app and it says it's safe at, you know, such and such percentage, when you're wearing clothes all the time and it's those little amounts adding up, so maybe not just your washing powder, it could be the detergent you're using when you wash up in hot soapy water, the hairspray you're adding, you're using, the deodorant you're using, all that kind of stuff, all those little percentages, if you were to add all those up, then in a day it's not safe at all. So that's where I'm kind of coming from, that yeah, we have to look at like the load as a whole and how much your laundry area and what you're using in it has an impact on that. So we'll go into one of the products. One of the most common ones is washing powder or washing liquid. We all need to use it. And this is one that has a little bit of greenwashing on here. The pink sign, it says tough on stains, gentle on skin. Oh, how nice. And it's got sensitive on there as well. So that means it must be good. They've got a dad with a baby. It must be safe for babies too. So I looked at the ingredients in this and I just picked out one which is actually quite high up. So, you know, the ingredient list goes from the most the highest percentage to the least percentage of in that whole product. So this one came up, and there are a few warnings. First of all, we've got the red unhappy face, and then we've got down here the potential effects. Some human case studies show possible cancer findings. That's like alarm bells, and it's derived from petroleum, so it's not great at all, that ingredient. The next one that I pulled up was sodium salicyate. It had an orange unhappy face. So if you don't know, Chemical Maze app rates it with a red face, which is really bad. Orange is kind of like, and then they have green, which is happy face, which is safe. But this came up with all types of warnings as well. Its potential effect is skin irritation, like classic when you're actually putting the clothes on your body after you've washed it in this stuff. And then the last one, which was way down in the ingredient list, but still huge. And this is an example here of where it says potential effects. It says safe as used up to 1% by the CIR. So like it may be like safe by their standards up to 1%, but what about all the other products you're using in a day that may have that same ingredient in it? There goes you 1%. And it's also made by petroleum. Not great. The next one is a stain remover soaker, which we're probably all familiar with, nappy sand. I just picked that one because it was a common one. I actually used to use this on the kids and everything because I just didn't know that anything else could get stuff nice and white and clean. So I looked into the ingredient list in this. It was really hard to find, but I got a general one. So we've got the sodium lauryl sulfate, which was back in the kitchen one. This is an ingredient that makes stuff like foam up and seem clean. So it was an orange face, but there's heaps of like warnings here, in my opinion. Potential effects, I've just arrowed it all. It's petroleum based and derived from petroleum, and palm oil. So that's just like a no-no. Don't want to support that industry at all. The next one was this weird one, and it was pretty bad. So it had a red face, suspected respiratory neurotoxicity, and effects on the body was nervous system and respiratory system. And again, it was petroleum based. It also makes me wonder what all these petroleum-based products going down the drain into our ecosystem is doing, which is pretty scary. So when you are switching, you are actually doing several things at once. But I won't go into that too much. Another thing that I wanted to cover was that a lot of laundry powders and whiteners and all that kind of stuff have fillers in them. So I've just listed off a few things. Basically, they're something to bulk out the washing powder, and it's just for them to make money because then it's cheaper for them to do it that way. It doesn't benefit the product whatsoever. It has no effect on its cleaning ability. The fillers that they add don't dissolve in the wash, so then they attach to our clothes and then they irritate our skin. They build up in the washing machine, so they basically stuff your washing machine. And I've even read things where some fillers have like gone into the pipes and been like cement-like. So it's just, they're just bad news. Also that these companies can make more money. So then another one is that they rot the fabric. So if you are using it and then storing your clothes with that still on there and the fillers were attached, it said that it can attract moisture, causing mold and odour. So that's not great if you do want to store clothes. And then, as I mentioned before, it prevents grey water from your machine being used on lawns, gardens and certain septic systems, as fillers are harmful to plant life, not to mention our aquatic ecosystem, yeah. So yeah, another reason to source good washing powder or know what's going into it by making your own. Moving on to dry sheets. I don't even know this thing existed. I actually don't use my dryer that much. to be honest, because I prefer to dry my clothes and stuff in the sun. But dry sheets can be really, really toxic, especially because they have so much fragrance in them. So I looked up the ingredients on this and it was really hard to find because you have to go to Colgate, who must own Fluffy. And the first one was this one, which came up with a red unhappy face. And again, respiratory and immunotoxicity. It affects your immune and respiratory system, symptoms, alignments, asthma, skin ailments, eczema, dermatitis, itching, hives and rashes. And that's like the last bit of the process. So that's going on hot, dried clothes. And then again, we have fragrance, which is petroleum derived. It's synthetic. It affects your immune system, your nervous system, greatly affects your hormones. I think essential oils do an amazing job at this, and there's no reason to put fragrance in there. But it's obviously it's cheaper for them, and because fragrance holds on for longer, people think because they can smell that smell, it's clean. So yeah, big reason why they do that. So we're going to teach you ways to create your own dryer sheets if that's what you love, and at like a fraction of the cost. So that were just a few products. We'll go through many other ones that you can make, but I just want to let you know that we've got you. Again, don't freak out, because the worst thing that you can do is stress about what you're using now. And if you do want to go in and make any switches without waiting for us to go through this week, remember I've made up the Ditch and Switch room by room book. You just have to download it from our G Drive. Just comment below if you'd like the link again, and go straight to the laundry section, and there's plenty of recipes in there, and you can get making. Otherwise, we will be sharing our recipes and ways that we go about stuff throughout the week. And yeah, I hope you enjoy it. Just stop sharing, you can see my face instead of the book. Thanks.